Good morning, everyone. Or maybe you're listening to this at another time of the day. For me, it's morning here in Amsterdam. And I have another message for you. At the moment, I am living my best life in the gym, not only in the gym, but also in the gym. And I am very much into jumping rope, and it is extremely intense. I sweat like when I'm done jumping rope, it's as if I have been swimming. So, yeah, it's intense to say the least, and I love it. Nothing and no one can stop me from doing this. I have some friends that really do not enjoy jumping rope. They think it's the worst thing that you can ever do to get fit. Is that wrong? No, it's just different. There's a different way for everyone of getting in shape. If that's something that you're into, because also there are also people that are not into exerting physical effort at all. There are just people that don't like to go to the gym, and I cannot imagine that, but they exist. They really exist. So, where is this going? Well, just like for me, at times I'm into this and then I'm into that, and now that is jumping rope. Just as that, there are so many different ways to roam when it comes to conscious creation. You have people that swear by scripting, you have people that swear by imagining, you have people that swear by meditating. And yes, while all of these things work, there is no one size fits all. There never has been and there never will be. And also in your own lifetime, you will have different things that work for you at different times. What does work for everyone, though, and which is actually something, yeah, you can do. Some people are really good at it. I find that I'm pretty good at it in the meantime. What you can do and what all of these things do for you, all of the methods, all of the permission slips, as Bashar calls it, and all of the conditions, as Oprah calls it, Oprah without an H, is they make you feel good. They make you feel trusting. They make you feel relief. One of the most important emotions or energy states, I would say, that you can be in and that you can feel in your body. Okay, I'm gonna have a sip of my drink now. So, another thing that I want to say about this is it might not be you. You might know people that do this. It might be you. When you are arguing for what the best method is, either in YouTube comments or trying to convince friends or maybe even yourself, it's a waste of your energy. Who cares? Who cares that that works for that person and it didn't work for you? Then something else works for you. Or maybe it's your inner self saying, drop all these things and go back to what it is really about. And I have a nice story from my own life that illustrates this perfectly, because I've been in a couple of situations where the message was loud and clear. Stop using all of these crutches because they're causing you to not flow freely and not to they're causing you to have your energy be actually in the wrong place and focused on the wrong thing. This was in the time that I just started out with, let's say, conscious creation, because I wasn't at the part yet where I had discovered Neville Goddard. So I was living in Berlin, and I had decided to go there through a series of magical happenings. And I had just found out about Gabrielle Bernstein, and Gabrielle Bernstein was, I don't know what she is teaching now, she was a very big proponent of asking for signs. So that is what I was doing all day, every day. And especially with bigger things that I wasn't trusting my inner guidance on it, because in the end, it all comes from ourselves, right? Everything comes from ourselves. So I was walking down the street. I just had a phone call with someone, and I had a really big decision to make. It felt like really big to me. So I said to the universe, which now I understand, like I still believe that there's a universe. And I also know that everything that happens and that I see is a co-creation and is done with my inner self, my higher self, my personality. So it doesn't just come at me out of nowhere. No, I'm involved somehow on some level. So I was walking in Berlin. And if you know Berlin, I was close to the Warschauer Brücke. It's a very busy area in Berlin. And I thought, okay, I don't know what to do with this. So please show me a yellow car when it's a yes. And if it's a no, I would also know, because then I just wouldn't see anything. So I had stated this. I'm not even sure if I stated it out loud. If not, doesn't matter. And I see this kind of beige looking car driving by. It was a taxi. And I said out loud, no, this is not yellow. Then I see a bus drive by, and it was more yellow, but still not quite. And so I said, no, come on, this is not yellow either. And what happened next? It was a couple of seconds later. I hear this super loud motor, like when someone is, putting down their foot on the gas, but they're not driving away yet. So I guess it's then, I don't know. I don't even want to try to explain how you do this with a car, but this sound of a revving engine, like really loud. And I look, and there is like, it couldn't get any more yellow than that. The most yellow Ferrari with black stripes just drove by me in, it was just, I'm still flabbergasted when I think about it. So obviously my mouth, like my jaw just dropped, and I was like, okay. But this is what happened. So I had asked for a sign that if it would be a yes, the question, the big thing, decision that I had to make, if it was a yes, then I would see a yellow car. I had the yellow car, it was a yes, and it felt like a no. And then I understood. I understood the message, because first I was a bit confused. I was like, oh shit, it's a yes. But I don't know, it feels like a no. And this was the thing. I had been only trusting signs from outside of me and not my inner senses, my inner feelings, my intuition to make decisions. And this was a graduation, if you will, to the next level that said, hey, listen up. It's time for you to stop using this as a crutch. So then it was time for the next phase of my inner development, I would say. And I've gone through a lot of stages since then. So it's not that I'm ever there. Also, now I'm in a completely different stage as I was a couple of months ago when I was in New Zealand, for instance. And I wanted to give you an example from there as well. I'm pretty sure, and maybe you're even in the middle of it at the moment, that you know this feeling that nothing is happening and you're being asked to just sit with whatever it is you're sitting with. There's nothing showing up. It feels like there's no movement. You have had a clear desire for something and like nothing is happening. So while it might seem that nothing is happening, might look is what I wanted to say, there is a lot happening behind the scenes. You're just being made ready to be ready to be ready, or you're getting ready to be ready to be ready because it's you that's doing it. So in these cases, when you feel like, nothing is going on, what helps for me is walk a lot, exercise a lot. I slept so much at that time. It was crazy. And I just went with it. I don't know if you're a bit like me, like I love to be active. So I felt very, I was like, I'm just the worst citizen of planet Earth because I'm just sleeping so much and I'm not contributing anything. So I felt super useless. We can never be useless. We're always doing something. And even though we can't see it, there's something happening for sure. And I remember listening to Sarah Landon's audiobook. I've been in her community for a while, and she just had launched her, I think it's just still her book, her first book, The Wisdom of the Council. And I was going through that phase, and of course, I hear the council say to me in my earbuds while I was doing a long walk in Auckland from I don't even know where I was going, probably nowhere necessarily. And I hear them say that if you feel like sleeping, just sleep. And if you feel like nothing is happening, then everything is happening behind the scenes. You can't see it yet, but there's definitely something going on. And that calmed me down. And I might be the one that is telling you at this moment that it is how it is, and that you're at the perfect place, and it's the perfect time, and everything is just exactly how it's supposed to be. Which brings me to another point. You are always communicating with yourself. So, this message that you're listening to now, you have created. You co created it with me. This is something that you needed to hear. And I'm the person at this moment, because you're listening to me at this moment, is giving this message to you. And for me, at times, that is through listening to Josiah Brand or to Tom Kieran, I think his name is, or Rhonda Byrne, the book The Secret, or Neville Goddard book, or a song that I hear. So, and it's always me communicating to me as it is you communicating to yourself. So understand that as well. There's nothing outside of you that is smarter than you. It is all you, just in a different form. There was something else that I wanted to share before I leave you. I'm just reading here because I wrote some things down. Oh, yeah. I've spoken about this before, and you will probably hear me speak about it a lot more because it's something that we do automatically. We try to push and manipulate things to happen, right? We're like, I want this, and this is not happening, so let me nudge a little. And I have a great example of an item that I have back in my apartment in Amsterdam that hasn't been with me for over 7 years. So I'm speaking linear time speak here because how else am I going to have a conversation or am I going to share anything? But as we know, there's no linear time, there's only simultaneous time, and linear time is a camouflage. Still, I'm telling this story in a linear time fashion. When I was around 25, I went to Suriname, the country where I was born, for the first time in my life. I was born there, but I never went back there. So around my 24th, 25th, I went there and I bought this beautiful wooden carved stool. And yeah, I was super happy with it. And it's just a beautiful little stool. And it was important to me because A, it came from the country where I was born, and B, it was made by hand. So at one point, I was really into making lipsticks and all that. And I also, well, not lipsticks yet, lip balms. And I also had designed a tattoo cream that you put on your, like an after tattoo care, under the name Dr. Velvet. So I gave this little stool to my, at the time, tattoo artist. She had designed the logo for this Dr. Velvet packaging, which was a mermaid with tattoos on her arms. Side note, I think I'm going to do something with it again. But anyway, so she made this tattoo or this logo for me. And so I decided to give this little stool to her. She could borrow it and she could put because she's a tattoo artist and I had this tattoo cream. And she could put the little boxes on that stool as a way of a presentation to her clients. And so I was still living in Amsterdam at that time. I decided to leave Amsterdam, and so the stool always stayed with her. And I've been away from and lived in Berlin for like 7 years. Then I was in New Zealand for 9 months. And at one point, when I came back, I thought, you know what? I would like to have that stool again. And I actually thought it a couple of times in these years. And I vaguely remember reaching out to her a while ago and her saying, hey, I don't have that studio anymore and I don't know where that stool is, so I'm sorry. Ah, yeah, I do remember that. And me thinking, damn, and then just leaving it. Years later, let's say, I think it was 2 months ago. Yeah. 2 months ago, I'm again going like, I want that stool back. And mind you, this is inspiration, right? Because where does this thought come from? It's not a person that's in my life. It's not my boyfriend, my mother, my best friend. It is an item. So I'm not thinking of these people all day, every day, right? So all of a sudden, this stool comes back to me in my mind, and I'm like, damn, I really want this stool back. So I sent her a message again. So now listen, this is really cool. She hadn't responded to my message. And then she did, and I never opened this email. Why? Because I didn't feel like it. I have that a lot nowadays, that I get emails that I don't feel like responding to and opening because I just don't feel it. I don't do things because I have to, because I should, because, oh, what will the other person think on the other side of the email? No, I only do things when they feel aligned. And that's also with WhatsApp messages, with Facebook messages, with all of it. I only respond, open, whatever, when it feels aligned. Okay, so back to her message. I never opened it. Then I get a new message from her weeks later, which was more recent, saying, oh, I did locate it. This person has taken over my studio. So and so is their name. This is their phone number. Reach out to them and you will have your stool back. It was a bit of an exercise in the end still to get it back. But what do you think? I have this stool in my apartment in Amsterdam where it wants to be and where I want to have it. And why do I say where it wants to be? Because everything has consciousness and everything has a reason for being. And so if you would ask me like, so why is it that after all these years this stool is communicating with you and it wants to be back with you? And this is what I would tell you. And you know, whatever we believe is true, right? So this is just true. What I believe is happening is this. Whenever anyone comes into contact with anything, you exchange energy, you exchange information, because energy is just information. All of the people in the meantime that have been energizing this stool apparently had to have their energy mix with me, or I had to mix, with them. And so this stool came to me again to upgrade me in some way. That's how I see it. And also, I never, ever, ever believe in bad energy, that something bad is trying to get to me. No, because nothing and no one can interfere with me without my consent. And I take good care of my inner world when it comes to that, so that's just not an option. Just in case you were thinking, oh, but what about bad energies? No, that's not an option. So, moral of the story, there is never a no. There might be a no for a moment, but you know as well as I do, there is never a fixed no. There is always a way. A no now just means it isn't the time yet. And so if I would have left it then, I'm not that person and I don't have any version of me that that accepts a no. But let's just say if I would be and I would have a version of me that accepts no's, then this stool would still be wherever, with whomever. I'm not that person. No version of me is that person. And I'm also telling you it is always possible. And I have so many more stories that can, what is the word? Illustrate that it's never a no. It's always, there's always a yes. It just means the time isn't there yet. So all of this to say, the time will come when you feel inspired to do it. And remember this quote from Seth that I haven't used in a while and that is always in the back of my mind, somewhere cheering me on. You don't set your problems like millstones around your neck. You set them in the hope that you will solve them, which means two things. You set your own challenges in your life. Every challenge you see, you have put there yourself. And you have put it there to discover how powerful you are. That's all. That's all that's going on. So before I leave you with this, in the meantime, pretty long video, before I leave you, I want to give you this. I'm offering for free at the moment calibration sessions. And a calibration is assisting you in flowing your energy through your body in an unhampered and easy way. So if you have something going upstream within you, if you have a wobble, whatever the subject is, it doesn't matter. And it can even be an actual physical pain in the body. I've already done it with one of my YouTube viewers. I have done it with a lot of other people. If you're listening to this and you feel like responding about how the calibration was for you, please do so in the comments. If you don't, totally fine. And I won't mention anyone's name. Everyone is free to either join or not join. Just send me an email I'll put the email in the description. And I wish you a beautiful rest of the day. See you soon. Ciao.